Alright, you monsters, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today I'm going to talk about alcohol stoves. And yeah, the reasons why you should have one in your bug-out bag, and what the pros and the disadvantages are of them. So before we do that, if you're interested in the detective stories, there will be a link to my first book called Bloody Crosses. It's in Dutch, so if you are interested, take a look. So, alcohol stoves. This was something that I always was skeptical about, because I used to have one of these German emergency army cookers. So how does this work? Actually, it works in the same thing as an alcohol stove, but this one is using a flammable paste instead of alcohol. So what you would do is you open it. You can see it's a paste. It's been used a lot. Normally, it's a few times used and disposable, but I have a hard time to throw things away. You would take this top, put it here. It's also been used a lot, so it's a little bit crusty around here. And you would take your cup and boil it like that. But I have discovered now these alcohol stoves, or they are also called spiritus burners, alcohol blenders. Dus what is so special about this? The thing about this is, I would say, always keep one of these in your bug-out bag, because you not always have enough fuel with you to cook a large pot. Yeah, I would say. But what I would do is take some branches or some wood or some shells from walnuts and use them to to make a small fire and cook it. But the downside of that is it will give off a lot of smoke. It will give a lot of light, so it's visible, especially during the night. So that could also be a little bit dangerous for your stealth. And yeah, it's also a little bit more work, because you have to look around, expose yourself more. So, and also you cannot always make a fire at certain places. When you're in certain types of caves, when you're inside of a building, especially a building full of flammable materials, yeah, that could be a little bit of a hazard. And it's also bad for your stealth if there is light, smoke, and sometimes even noise coming from making a fire. So that's the reason why you should have one of these. These are very quiet. I have here two types, and I will tell you what the difference are. This is a simple alcohol stove. It's just a cap. Sorry, it's just a cap. As you can see, it's filled with spiritus alcohol. That's like a bioethanol, and it's how it works is you pour it in the middle. It will go to the underside, but it's open on the other side, so it will go to the sides, and that vapor will come out of these holes on the sides, and that way it will, like a candle, burn the vapors to start a fire. And also in the middle, it will start to burn, and it will give a lot of heat. So what you can do with this is, I will show you. The first thing you will notice is, there you go. You don't see the flames now. I can not hold my hands on even this high, because I don't know if you can hear it, but it's now burning with a great heat. But the downside is, I don't know, the good side is you cannot see the flames. It will not give smoke, and it's not visible, and it gives not a lot of noise. The only downside about this type of aluminium alcohol stove is it's very, how do you say this? It's not that durable. If you perhaps can see, there is already a dent inside of this cap, because I dropped it because I wanted to see how strong it was, and it's dented very easily. It's cheaply made, and I will talk about this in a minute. This is a better model that is made out of brass, and it's a little bit heavier but more durable than this. But this is something that you can put in your EDC more, and it's not something that you should drop. And with this, I could have made 2 times I could have boiled this gamma. So this one thing that is filled with only this much bioethanol allowed me to cook something filled with this full of water twice. To be honest, I used the lid on top of it, so that's something that you need to take in account for. And what you can also do is, if you're going to use one of these, you can take the pet finder system. If I made a video about this, put this on top and boil water like that with the stove. Be very carefully, because that you don't touch any metal that is getting hot. I will not make that mistake again. That's something that you need to be very careful about. And if you're going to if you hear something or you need to go to go away quickly, you just put cap on top of it and screw it on top of it, and lack of oxygen will smother the fire quickly. But I would advise, if you're going to boil it for a long time, this part is still very hot. Yeah, I would not. I can just put it in my backpack, but I will not, because it's still a little bit hot from this little bit. So that's a little bit of the downside, that you need to wait for it, or you have to take it with a glove, a blanket, or perhaps even a multi-tool to put in a non-flammable part of your backpack. So that's something that you need to watch out for. I'm going to put this away and talk about this. It is actually the same thing, but it has a regulator for the flames. So how this works is, it is first of all made out of brass. It's much more sturdy. And screw the cap loose. So as you can see, it's just the same system with the holes filled in the middle. I will have to be careful about this. So what you do is, you line it up. You cannot see heat, you cannot see smoke and light, but it is on fire right now. And it's a little bit bigger than the aluminum one. And what you do with this is the fire regulator. So what you do is, you lift it up a little bit and you choose how much flame you will have. So with this you will have a little bit more, a more duration of how much heat you will create, because you can open it up and allow a certain part of fire on top of it. So you can also use it to just keep some tea or coffee or soup warm during a pause or something. But if you want to cook it, I would say open up directly or close it off when you're going to make fire. And you can also use it to smother the fire like this. And the fire is out now. So that's something that you can do. That's a good multifunctionality of this. And there is a second layer on top of the first cap, so that's something that you need to watch out. I would prefer to take a fire out with this, because the screw cap has some rubber to tight to how do you say this, to do a tight fit, so that bioethanol will not leak out. So always put it out with this first, and be very carefully, because if you can see, if the smallest movement, this will get very hot, and if it's by a small movement like this, falls onto your thumb and you will burn your fingers, and that's something that I already did, so that was very stupid of me. But what if you have an EDC or a bug out bag and you don't have something like a Pathfinder system to cook a fire on top of it? Well, there are several things you can do. You can just improvise a higher statue to put your mug or your camel on top of it, because there is something that you need to know about this. If you're just going to put your mug on top of it, you will smother the fire and it will not cook your water or your camel. So what I would advise is, either you improvise it with twigs or something else that you find, or perhaps with some iron wire that you can hang on a branch and hang it on top of it. But you can also use something very simple like this. These are just two pieces of metal where there is a piece sawed out in the middle. You can put it on top of like this, and now you have an X. Put it on top like this, and now this is very sturdy. Put your mug on top of it, or put your how do you say this? Your camel on top of it. Cooked boil or cooked whatever you want to. Take it off, and of course this will be very hot, so you cannot put it directly into your bucket bag. Just take it off and close off the fire, and that way it will cool off very quickly because it's made out of brass and it will lose its heat. It heats much faster because it's more conductive, and that way it will lose it faster. So yeah, these were just some ideas on how to use one of these alcohol stoves, and what you should do and what you can't do, as you can see now like this. And always, I want to urge you, always screw up the cap very tightly. Or if you want to be really safe, you just put the alcohol back into some sort of fuel bottle. I forgot to take my fuel bottle because I'm an idiot out of my bucket bag, but I have a small fuel bottle that you can pour it back in, or you can, when you're ready, you pour what you need in top of it, you measure it out, and you burn it. You burn it till it's running out, and that's way you can have more fuel and burn more times with the camel fully to boil water that way. So that's something that you could do, or you can use it in your EDC, your bug out bag with an extra fuel bottle in case it's that is especially handy during winter time when most of the wood or branches are under snow, or they are wet or damp, and this could be very helpfully, and it's lightweight in contrary to most stoves, and you don't have the volume of one of those gas patrons, how do you say this, these gas canisters that you could use in other stoves. So yeah, I really like this system, and it's something that I always keep in my bug out bag from now on. And yeah, always, and like I want to urge you, always take the how do you say this, always take the more sturdy one. Make it out of rust-free metal, brass, and not the aluminum ones, because these will dent and break very, very easily. So I'm going to check out this because I want to show you something. Yeah, I thought it would have been running out more, the rubber lid, but it's just fine because I've been stupid and used this to take out this fire. So, and this is still hot, by the way. I can carry it now, but it's still hot enough to be a little bit uncomfortable hot, but not like you will get wounded by it. So always be very carefully, especially if you're going to pour alcohol inside of it, and yeah, that you don't burn yourself or some of your clothing or your equipment. Because if you're going to make a fire like I did with this, and you spill some bioethanol onto your skin, onto your body, or wherever you don't want it, and you make some sparks, and it will get onto you or that part that is covered by a alcohol spill, you will not directly see the flames until it's too late, and you will feel it, and a burning wound is something that will infect very easily during a bug out. So that's something that you need to be very, very cautious and cautious about. So that's something that I cannot state enough. So I hope this video gave you some ideas on what to use in your bug out bag. If you have any other ideas about how to use this or any other survival uses for this, please let me know in the comments. I'm always eager to learn how people use things differently. And like, subscribe and all that good stuff. Leave a comment, and thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Cheers.